In this video, we're going over the bottom-up 1D approach of dungeon game. So let's go over the thought process. So in the 2D bottom-up approach, in each of the iteration, we are only relying on values from the rows r and r plus 1. This means we can create an array to represent our 2D matrix. Then in each of the iteration, we will be replacing the values from the previous iteration. So let's go over the pseudocode. So we're going to create an array. We're going to convert our 2D matrix to an array. Now the indices represent columns. And then we're still going to create our two variables to indicate the number of rows and columns, m and n. And then we're going to iterate through all of the rows, iterate through all of the columns. If RC is equal to m minus 1 and n, or RC is equal to m and n minus 1, this means we have saved the princess. Our HP should be equal to 1, so I want to set min health C to 1. Then we can continue to the next iteration. If RC is out of bound here, we do not want the knight to step on this cell, so I want to set min health to integer.max value, which is a very large value to prevent the knight. Now, for each of the cells, we have two choices, going rightward or going downward. We want to pick the smaller choice between the smaller value between the two choices. Now min health r and c plus 1, this is at the current row, but to the column to the right, so it's just min health c plus 1, going rightward. Then we have a min health r plus 1 and c. R plus 1 is the row to the bottom. Since we've converted our 2D matrix to an array, this is our current cell, which means just going downward. Now in order to account for the current cell, we're going to decrement the current health by the dungeon RC. Now if the current health is less than or equal to 0, we can just pick the smallest positive value possible, which means we can just set it to 1. Then we'll return the minimum health from starting at the top left corner. Now let's go over the time and space complexity. For the time complexity, it's still of mn, where mn are the number of rows and columns, which basically is our nested for loop. In our space complexity, our min health has been converted to an array. This means it's just the number of columns, so it's just O of n, where n is the number of columns. This is our min health array. Now let's go over the code. We're going to convert our 2D matrix into an array. Then we're going to iterate through the rows and columns. If we have saved a princess, the health we should have is equal to 1. If we're out of bound, the health we should have is just a very large value to prevent the knight from stepping to the current cell. Now for the current minimum health, we want to pick the smaller choice between this is going rightward and then this is going downward. And then in order to account for the current cell, we just going backwards, so we just decrement dungeon RC. Now if the current minimum health is less than or equal to 0, we can just pick the smallest positive integer possible, so which is equal to 1. Then we can just return the minimum health from starting from the top left corner. Let me know if any questions in the comment section below.